Look at this. A pregnant friend came to stay with me for a few days. That first night, at 3 a.m., she woke me up and asked for pickles, chocolate, and blue cheese. When I got everything, I asked her, "But how can you eat this? It looks disgusting." Then she looked at me and said, "Oh, you are right. It needs yogurt." From the outside, it may look like a pretty gross combination, right? And you can say, okay, pregnancy has destroyed her taste. But maybe that isn't the full story. Pregnancy is much, much more than a growing belly. The brain changes too. Brain scans show it. Gray matter volume and cortical thickness are reduced, and white matter connections change too. Think of synaptic pruning. The brain cuts what is less useful and strengthens what becomes more important for taking care of the baby. What becomes more important for taking care of the baby? That can make pregnant women more sensitive to the emotional signals around them, to detect who need protections. But this reorganization is not easy. It can make pregnant women more vulnerable. In Spain, almost 1 in 5 pregnant women may experience depressive symptoms in the 3rd trimester. However, in hospitals, we often overlook this problem. And this is what my thesis comes in, helping to detect this distress earlier during pregnancy. So let's go back to my friend. During those days, I began to notice another symptoms and emotional taste. And she checked her phone again and again to read another pregnant symptoms. She laughed about her cravings, but sometimes she feels scared. One day, she confessed to me, "I know I should be happy, but sometimes I feel scared." And as a midwife, as a nurse, I realized that I had already heard this in other pregnant symptoms. This is where my experience as a midwife meets my research. My thesis offers a comprehensive and effective tool to approach pregnant women's health, both physically and emotionally. A useful tool for real clinical practice. In obstetrics, we are used to identifying physical risk factors. If a woman is at higher risk of hypertension or gestational diabetes, we don't wait for the problem to appear. We monitor it and act earlier. So why not do the same with emotional risk? Why not identify which pregnant women are at higher risk of sadness or loneliness? That is what my thesis does. It detects patterns of vulnerability among pregnant women. To build these profiles, I collect data for pregnant women in the 3rd trimester in several hospitals. First, I use a tailored questionnaire to know age, previous births, previous lasses, and mental health history. Then, I use a 4 clinical questionnaire. First, the Edinburgh scale measures depressive symptoms, such as guilt, sadness, and insomnia. Second, the anxiety scale measures fear about the baby's health and fear about body changing. Third, the social support scale measures about whether the woman feels supported and loved about her partner, family, or friends. And fourth, the prenatal bonding scale measures what the mother feels and thinks about her baby. After that, I analyze how these elements to each other. identify different profiles of women to interview them, because numbers can show patterns, but interview can show experience behind them. This new model could be very useful to midwives, because we have a unique position. We are close to the women we care for. We see them again and again throughout pregnancy. We need brief, realistic, and effective tools model, because two women never experience pregnancy in exactly the same way. Caring for a pregnant woman with a strong support and limited anxiety is very different from caring for one with a history of mental health, limited support, and fear of the childbirth. They may need different levels of care. That is the practical value of my research, turning emotional and social factors into meaningful medical information. Not only respond when a woman is already suffering, but recognize early when a woman whom may need help and be there in time. So, let's go back to the beginning. Pickles, chocolate, blue cheese, and yogurt, of course. We don't want my friend to get upset. We can look at that plate and think, oh, are you serious there? It's disgusting. Or we can look again and think, this is not just a strange craving. It's a woman changing and a body changing and an opportunity to care for her better and earlier. Because after all, pregnancy is much, much more than a belly. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.